Today's project is this 2002 Suzuki Vinson 500. It has a problem idling. It pretty much dies all the time, hard to start. So we're going to pull the carburetor off of it, see what's wrong. I believe the idle circuit is plugged up because you can adjust the idle mixture screw all the way in and all the way out, and it doesn't change how the motor idles at all. So that circuit has to be plugged up. You gotta take this plastic cover off to get the throttle cables off of here. So we gotta take this screw off right here, but it kind of looks like it's been butchered up already. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that out of there. Now this here cable just goes through the idle adjustment screw that's on the other side, so it doesn't actually have to come off. I'm going to go ahead and remove this carburetor off here because I think it might make it easier to get this choke cable out of it, if I can get to it easier. Not too bad in there. I was planning on soaking this whole carburetor body in a can of Berryman's Chem Dip, but since it has these plastic pieces pressed into it, I don't want to risk damaging them. So I think I'll just go ahead and use carb cleaner from a can and then just blow through the passages. Try to clean it up as best I can. I'm going to put all these jets and needles in here to soak. don't know if you can see it or not, but this has like some white corrosion down in there, and I'm afraid that's what's restricting the flow. We're going to let that soak for a while. Should see some carb fluid spray up through here. These parts came out looking really clean. Got this carburetor all cleaned up. All the passages are clear now. One circuit was plugged up, and it should be ready to reassemble now. I'm going to put the idle mixture screw in first. You have the needle, spring, a little washer, and a small O-ring. I'm going to spray just a little bit of WD-40 on this O-ring to lubricate it as it goes in. We're just going to gently seat that, and then we're going to back it out. Just going to try one turn to start with, and then once it gets back on the engine, we'll adjust it accordingly. Those don't require a lot of torque, just snug. Now that I got the jets back in, I just want to double check, make sure that the passageways are still able to flow air. Now these jets with the slots are a little bit tougher because I can't cover up the sides very easily. So we'll try this. Everything there looks good. Spray a little WD-40 on the threads of these float bowl screws so that maybe next time this has to come apart, they're easier to get out. Alright, this carburetor is ready to go back on. And I'm going to spray a little bit of WD-40 on this choke cable system here so that it doesn't get seized up. And then pretty much I'm just going to put it all back together in reverse order of how it was taken apart. And I'm going to skip the rest of that because you've already seen it coming apart. It'll look pretty much the same going together. Before I put the airbox and everything back on, I want to start it and see how it does. Alright guys, I put this back together and it did seem like it ran better, but I wasn't happy with the idle. It still felt like it was, you know, kind of inconsistent and searching up and down. So I was going to take it back off and check the float level again. But when I did, there's a vacuum line that runs from the fuel shutoff valve to the main throttle bore of the carburetor. And when I pulled that off, some gas came out, which tells me the diaphragm on this fuel shutoff valve is leaking internally. And also I noticed whenever I block off that vacuum hose, it idles really good. I'll show you that right now. Here's that vacuum hose that goes onto the shutoff valve. If you cover that up, it idles real good. You open that up, that's how it was idling before, and it kept wanting to die. So that tells me there's a major vacuum leak inside this shutoff valve, so that's going to have to come off and be repaired. I'm going to pull this apart. I'm betting there's a diaphragm in here that's got a hole in it. It looks like there's part of it missing right here. Assuming it must have sucked it up through the vacuum hose and sucked it into the engine at some point. That's the problem, I would say. Went ahead and just bought a whole new valve. It was only $21 with tax. A lot better than trying to repair the other one. And it probably would have cost more just to buy those little parts anyway. That runs much better now. That's all the problem was. Bad diaphragm in the fuel shutoff valve, and the carburetor did have the idle circuit plugged up. And that'll conclude today's project.